Is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off the near side, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Welcome into another edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Luke Robinson. As always, we'll be with you for the next 2 hours, taking your phone calls, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of sports. 256-234-6221 is our number here. Thank you so much for all of you out there joining us. Beautiful day today. Looks like we're going to have quite a few beautiful days leading up to the 4th of July. Hopefully that will, again, be a time for everybody to enjoy their family and celebrate the independence of America. We got a lot to talk about tonight, a lot of different things to talk about. A bit of an anniversary today, an odd one, I will admit, but I'd like to look back on it because I'm not sure a lot of people remember and I think this particular day changed college football. June 27th, 1984, the Supreme Court took away the monopoly of sports telecast and gave the opportunity for individual teams or conferences to negotiate their own TV deals. That changed.
You kept me waiting
football.
a long time for that.
That is called anticipation.
Well, here's the thing. It is a cool anniversary, and frankly, I think I started thinking about it immediately and go, yeah, that's probably when college football started dying a little bit, college sports in general. But without that ruling, there's not all this money to make all these better facilities and to give all these other kids opportunities and eventually start to ruin the sport. Ruin the sport is a little bit much. But I'm saying I sort of yearn for the days when we had college football and there were like 3 games on TV. And if you want to see your team, you go to the game or you listen. Mm-hmm. You know, I sort of yearn for those days sometimes, even though I got to say, my fat butt is the one that's on the couch watching all the games. Like, I don't go to as many Alabama home games because I'm like, I'm going to miss this, and this, and this. Now, I'll go to road games because I want the experience, and we usually have a group that we go with. But the home games, I'm sort of like, yeah, I mean, it's fun. And if it's Texas, I mean, sure, it'd be great. And if I get good seats, it'd be awesome. But if I don't have good seats and it's, like, close, I'm going to stay home and watch games on TV. And
that was the whole argument from the NCAA. It's going to hurt attendance.
And I don't know that their argument held water for a while. I think it's taken 30 years. I believe it's finally starting to take effect.
Well, you know, this is one of those perfect examples of what we often say, and everybody loves to throw out the term unintended consequences. They say it so much it loses meaning. But this is the prime example.
Which is an unintended consequence, ironically.
That's true. You know, the NCAA said, yeah, you know, and this is one of those kind of, I guess, maybe rare instances where it was the right decision.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they did have a monopoly on it. And, you know, the teams could make more money, and they were losing out on a lot of money. And we see nowadays how much money they were losing out on. But, you know, so clearly it was the right decision. It was a 7-2 majority by the Supreme Court in 1984. But now you see, and I'll read an article from the Washington Post, and at the end of it, it kind of says, and you kind of go back in time and read this, and it says, nobody can really say what effect this will have on college football, but, you know, and now we can look back in hindsight and see. And again, there was a tremendous good, because you look at, and here's just an example. There was one, it says in this Washington Post article, it says, this is written on June 28th, actually, and it says There were 242 games televised last year. Nobody knows how many will be televised in 1984. And I just, just for look, I just went to the ESPN schedule for 2023. They're going to be like 80 or 90 games televised the first week. Yep. So I mean, how many college football games are televised a year now? I can't even. I'm not sure I can do that math. But so I'm just saying. I mean, is that a good thing or a bad thing? No. It was a good thing, but now it's oversaturated the market, and college football just. I'll give you credit. I mean, you've said this about certain arguments about this is what you want, but when you get it, it kind of ruins it. It kind of kills it a little bit. So,
the NCAA has no one but itself to blame. I mean, there's probably a way to figure this out and make it better, or do it, beat the Supreme Court to the punch. This may seem off topic, but this is an NCAA thing that just recently happened. You know what they did? They're going to make LSU forfeit 37 wins from 2013 to 2000, whatever it was. First of all, that was 10 years ago, number one. Number two, the people they forfeit to don't get the win. It's just a non-game that didn't happen, which cheapens the whole act of playing.
It's not only that they don't get the win, they still get the loss.
Yeah, they still get the losses. So here's my problem with that. Why don't you do it like we do in Monopoly when you mortgage a property? You mortgage a property, and then to buy it back, it costs more than what you mortgaged it for. So I think you should say, here's LSU. All right, you can forfeit these wins, but for pick a number, $10,000, $20,000, $5,000, $100,000 a game, or don't even ever take the forfeits. Just say this is what you got to do. You have to pay $100,000 37 times, $3.7 million. That's a pretty swift kick in the cojones. If you will start punishing schools with financially and quit worrying about did somebody get a cheeseburger in 1987, if you'll quit worrying about that and start, the first thing I would do as czar of the NCAA is say, first things first, we're going to figure out the playoff thing, and we're going to roll with this for about 20 years. So let's everybody get the way they want to, because this moving around, we are screwing it up, okay? College football is built on tradition and passion, and we don't need to change everything else. Second thing I'd do is put back every single vacated win and give back every single Heisman Trophy that's ever been taken from anybody, and give back every win to every coach who's ever had one lost, because it's the dumbest thing that's ever happened. And I would also say this, I'm never taking scholarships away from a school again. Never. And you know why? Because the more I've thought about this, the more I've realized we used to think, yeah, that's right, you punish Penn State. You punish USC and take those scholarships away. You know who you're hurting? Kids who have an opportunity to go to school. Nobody else. It doesn't hurt anybody if you're not on TV. Because first of all, you're not going to not be on TV. Everybody's on TV now. Yeah. So what you do, the only way that schools will pay attention to the rules is if you hit them.
That would be, go back to taking people off TV. That would be a punishment.
No, it's not. First of all, that's not going to happen. Because, again, you're punishing the other school they're playing.
And you think they're going to fine them $3.7 million?
No. I'm saying this is what I'd do if I was Zara. No, I have zero faith they will do anything that's smart.
I'm telling you, say it won't happen. It may not, but that would be a punishment.
But it's a punishment. Look, if
Trust
LSU,
me, I know. I went through it in 1993.
I know, but look, it is different than 93 now. And if you're, by the way, in 93, you know who you punished? Every team Auburn was playing, because their team couldn't see it.
I would agree.
So what I'm saying is, and I've really gotten on this scholarship thing. I used to say, you hit them with scholarships and they'll quit doing it. And then the more I've realized, you're just hurting kids. You're hurting people who have an opportunity to go. You're taking away opportunities for somebody to go to college. Now, yes, will it probably have a domino effect, like you end up hurting probably the lower tier schools as much as anybody. But I just think this, Reggie Bush gets his Heisman taken away. What? We all saw him. He was the best player in the country. Let him have it. Now, if you want to say, we feel like he did this, we feel like he did that, USC, you owe us $1 million, okay, let's do that. But let's also not pretend that everybody wasn't doing this. They did get caught. And that's the other thing I'd do is RSA right now, starting now, we're going to have a set of rules, and this is how you follow them. If you don't follow them, we're going to penalize you financially. And if you don't want to pay that bill, you just won't play the game. And it's that simple. You won't be eligible for the playoff.
Well, if you're gonna do that, I'm fine with it. But Reggie's got to cough up something too. I'm not saying the Heisman. No, if he's involved in it, he took it, knowing good and well it was against the rules. Okay, let's punish USC, but let's not let Reggie off scot-free.
Well, but
let's say Reggie owes about $25,000.
My point about that is, and look, I think in a perfect world that would be true. My point about that is,
I thought this
that was a long
your
time
perfect
ago.
world.
That was a long time ago, and I'm not making Reggie pay money now. I wouldn't even make USC pay money now.
No. This is when it happened.
Okay, when it happens.
No, because players can make money now.
I'm with you. Now, I think that would be a little harder to govern, but I understand where you're coming from, and I can buy it, okay? But my point is, if the NCAA feels like we just got tough and we showed LSU by taking away 37 wins from 10 years ago, nobody cares. We all saw the games.
It does keep – I think – did I read that those 37 vacated wins
keep Les
Miles out of the Hall of Fame?
Which, again, is also stupid. I mean, frankly – I don't even like having a magic number to get you in the Hall of Fame.
No, that's dumb.
I think that's dumb.
Isn't it a percentage?
It is. It's like a 600 winning percentage. The reason I hate that is because, you can be Mike Dubose and win an SEC title at Alabama, or Gene Chizik and win a national championship at Auburn. But if you're Gene Chizik at Iowa State, you're 5 and what was he, 19?
I think that's right.
I mean, it's don't do the magic numbers. Bill Snyder at Kansas State, I don't know how many wins. I don't know what his winning percentage was, but his ability to get whatever he did out of Kansas State is more impressive than a lot of other coaches at bigger schools who have better facilities. It's a lot more impressive. Now, would he have done the same thing at a bigger school? I don't know. Would he deal well with the spotlight? I don't know. I'm just telling you, Kansas State ain't got a lot.
Gene Chizik, Mike Dubose, Gene Stallings all have one SEC title. Are they all the same coach?
Yeah.
I would argue no.
I would argue a lot no.
Yeah.
It's just I just think this whole LSU thing was so dumb. But going back to your TV thing, look, I mean, in '84 or whenever this was, my memory's fuzzy. I mean, I was 12, so were we playing games on Thursday nights then?
No.
I mean,
no.
And again, I hate to be hypocritical about this.
This is the reason they started playing games.
But I hate being hypocritical about it, because I'm not going to say I refuse to watch Thursday night games. No, I'll watch them because I love football.
If you put it on TV, people will watch it.
But I'm saying, like,
what about playing on Tuesday?
There is something about college football playing on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday but they're scared to death to go up against the NFL on Sunday. There is something to be said, like, it would be so much better if the national championship were just, I know with the playoff it's impossible, and it was so much better when everything was January 1, right?
And when coaches were making, $150,000, nobody would say much of anything. There wasn't really a heated argument about it. But this was, then when conferences and Notre Dame in 1991 signs a deal with NBC, to exclusively put their games on. Then the SEC, CBS came along in 1996 and said, hey, SEC, why don't you come over and we'll cut a deal? And then you start seeing, $800 million. And
well, this leads into something Patrick Judkins said. I know we need to go to break. We're going to take an extra long break in a minute. I'm making that call.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going over your head to me. Anyway, so Patrick Judkins said, Luke, what do you think about Javon Quinterly leaving Alabama? I'll tell you what I think. At first, I was like, God bless him. He helped Alabama win 4 SEC titles in 3 years. 2 regular season, 2 tournament, 2 Sweet 16s. He was the MVP of 1 SEC tournament. He was a part of a lot of special moments in Alabama history. God bless him. There's also a part of me that says, the hell, man. I mean, you could have done this sooner. So the only answer is, right? I mean, because he was in the draft, then he announces he's coming back to Alabama, shows himself sitting on a throne or whatever, Bama, I'm back and whatever. Their only answer is somebody was tampering with him. That's the only answer. Now, do I have proof of this? No, this is simply what I believe. I'm not definitively saying that happened. To me, the only thing is somebody tampered with the system. But here's what I'm going to do. Not complain about it, because I'm 100% sure Alabama tampers with the system. Just as you should be convinced Auburn tampers with the system. If you think Peyton Thorne just said, I got a good feeling about Auburn. I mean, again.
Doesn't everybody say that?
I'm just saying that I don't like the fact, part of me says, go get your bag, do what you want to. You did a lot for Alabama. And part of me says, go get your bag, but couldn't you have done this a month ago so Alabama would have a chance to go get another point guard to take your place? And this is the drawback to having this ambiguous transfer portal. Nobody really knows when it starts or when it ends, because every time I've heard this is when it ends, somebody else gets in it and they're gone. So, yeah, I'm not mad at JQ. I want him to go wherever he goes. Seton Hall, Memphis, Miami, those are 3 places I've heard. And I'd be willing to bet wherever he goes, he gets a better NIL deal than he had at Alabama. And I bet that's part of it. I am not mad at him. I am not saying this definitively. I have zero proof. I'm saying if you don't believe that, it seems rather naive. This is not – and by the way, I can promise you 100% the coaches were caught off guard by this. That's another thing that makes me believe this. There's some Alabama fans who don't want to say that. They want to say, I'm sure Aaron Estrada, who's coming in, scared him to death. Nope, that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. I feel 100% confident about that. The coaches were caught off guard, just like they were caught off guard with Charles Bediako staying in the draft. And that didn't work out, by the way. But I'm just saying that this is the new era. Everybody wanted transfers. Everybody wanted everybody to be able to do what they want to. And it's going to happen to you next. Everybody who's getting a chuckle out of it, trust me, it's going to happen to you sooner rather than later. And you're going to be left holding a bag full of nothing like, hey, we thought we had a point guard here, and we don't anymore. Now, would he have started? I don't know. He probably would have been a 6-man again. But a 6-man in the SEC is a pretty good deal. And from what I understand, he had a really good NIL deal. So for somebody to beat that, he had to know something. And I'm not pretending I'm mad about it. I'm not even complaining necessarily, because I also think Alabama does this. So I'd be hypocritical.
Well, let's see where he ends up. And let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll regather ourselves and see if we can't figure out some things. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Sportz Auto Sales, located on Highway 280 in Kellyton, is all about selection and service. Selection of clean, sharp used cars, trucks, and SUVs selected by Robert Forbes himself. Service. Sportz Auto Sales is all about servicing vehicles on the lot, but also servicing your personal vehicle. Keep this in mind. If you don't see what you're looking for on the lot, just tell old Robert to go shopping for you. That's what he does. Personal service, and that's what it's all about at Sportz Auto Sales in Kellyton.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, just getting started on tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. You got any comments or any thoughts on any of the things we just talked about or we will talk about? 256-234-6221 is our number here. You can also dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page. That's sports with a Z, and comment away. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR's Sports Bar and Grill, wonderful place to have lunch or dinner, right here in downtown Alexander City, and Sunshine Heating and Air. For all your heating and cooling needs, 256-825-4849. Give them a call today. Any other thoughts on that? I mean, speaking of Alabama basketball, Brandon Miller goes the number 2 pick in the NBA draft. Clowney, I think, goes 21st. So 2 more guys into the NBA from Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy for both of them. I think that's a great landing spot for Clowney. And, you know, Clowney's one of those dudes that he wasn't on the AAU circuit. He sort of sprouted up from nowhere. Alabama had an eye on him early, and he really came on. I mean, this is a guy also you can't forget. He missed, 21 straight three-pointers in the year. Still was able to be a first-round pick because his defense is pretty incredible. His rebounding is good. He's got a long wingspan. Brandon Miller, I think, is just awesome. I think he's going to go to Charlotte, do really, really well. And, you know, I hope it works out with him in LaMelo Ball, but I really hope it works out for him and he gets to a bigger market. That's what I really hope. But we'll see. I think that he's got a game very much suited for the NBA. And the Victor Wembanyama, I can't ever say it.
We call him Wemby.
Yeah. Going to San Antonio, I think is great. I want San Antonio to be good again, and the only way to be good in the NBA is to have a superstar or two, or 3.
7'5".
7'5". It's like
and skinny as a rail.
Yeah, he's got like 6 elbows. I mean, he's a weird, he's an odd-looking dude, but he can also jump. That's the thing, is he's 7'5" and can jump. That's wild.
I mean, you know, I'm sure everybody saw. You know, you had Duncan and Sean Elliott and the Admiral and Ginobili all taking him out to dinner and all in the picture together. That is so uncommon for you see. I mean, that's like a college, you know, atmosphere.
San Antonio's
the Spurs, you had so many guys that were there for so long. Only my question is, where's Tony Parker? You know, I mean,
well, yeah, he's also French.
Yeah, that's true. So, you know, it just Spurs are different. They're just a different kind of franchise.
They are, and I mean, they are like a college franchise. I mean, they're a small market team, and they don't have anything else professionally. And you know, there's UTSA, Texas San Antonio, but I mean, that is like their college. And they went on such a great run for so long. I mean, I know they hadn't been super relevant of late, but they also hadn't had great players for the most part. They sort of aged out, but they got a lot out of what they had, and now they get to start over with this cat who you worry because you hadn't seen a lot of 7'5"-ish, 7'3"-ish guys flourish. I mean, I think Shaq's 7'1", but Mark Eaton was 7'4", if I remember right.
Yeah, I mean.
By the way, Mark Eaton died riding a bicycle, didn't he?
He did. Fell off, and I think he hit his head.
Yeah.
Of course, that dude on a bike. I mean, that had to be a specially made bike.
It's like a Flintstone mobile. But then there's Sean Bradley. Obviously didn't work out. I mean, and he was so frail. But I think
Manute Bowl.
I think Wemby's different.
Manute Bowl was stuck around for a while.
And Manute Bowl did
because he learned how to shoot.
He learned how to shoot a 3. That's what he really learned. And everybody thinks, God, they won't be able to shoot a 3. If you're super tall like that, it should help a little.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about getting blocked.
Right, and it's all standing.
Well, what's this guy's game?
He can really do it all. No, he's got handles. You wouldn't believe it. He's got handles. He can block shots. He knew at an early age about, okay, the way I'm growing, the way I'm built, I'm going to have to practice certain things that other guys that are going to be my size can't do. I mean, it's very difficult. It's, everything's kind of awkward. And he handles himself like a guy who's 6'11", and you think, well, that's what the big deal. If you're 6 inches taller and your wingspan's 6 inches longer, or maybe even longer than that, and you've still got moves, and if you've seen guys that are 6'11" in the NBA today, I mean, Kevin Durant's 7 feet. I mean, he can handle the ball about as well as anybody. And I'm not saying Victor can handle it as well as he can, but he can handle it well enough. His hands are huge. He is going to be good around the rim. He's got good body control. I mean, I think he's just got it all. I mean, a lot of people were calling him the best prospect since LeBron James.
I don't think this sentence has ever been uttered. Yeah, he's 7'5", but he's got small hands.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think that happens.
That'd be so weird. That'd be so unlucky for him, too.
Yeah, he'd be in the circus.
Yeah.
What he'd be. Yeah.
But anyway, I think he can be really good. It's just there is part of me that goes, guys, this size just don't work out. Yeah. Look, Mark Eaton was different because he was beefy, too. Mark Eaton was just a monster human being all the way around. And, I mean, his whole thing was, I'm going to stand here close to the goal, and if you can get over me, God bless you.
Yeah.
And that, he was with the Jazz when they had Malone and Stockton, and, they had a squad. And
Bill Walton,
yeah,
he was near 7 foot. I think he had ended up 30 surgeries on his feet. I mean, humans that are that big they're just not meant to be that big. And it happens. I mean, Andre the Giant, and I mean, they're people that, but it just,
Yao Ming,
it just doesn't work out well usually in the long run.
It's difficult.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take another break. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Are you in the mood to hit the road and travel in style? Then head on over to Opelika RV. You'll receive huge savings on travel trailers, lightweight campers, and fifth wheels by KZ, Sanibel, and StarCraft. Not only will you get the best prices around at Opelika RV, they also have a parts and service center to ensure you're always ready to enjoy a no-hassle road trip. Visit Opelika RV today for superior service and prices. Opelika RV located at 6752 Highway 280 East in Opelika, or give them a call at 334-742-9160.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. About 30 more minutes in the first hour of tonight's program. Give us a call, 256-234-6221. In other news, Deion Sanders has emergency surgery to remove some blood clots in his legs again.
Jeez.
Man, you just don't know what to this is one of those things. This just does not sound good. I mean, I'm not just talking about now. Well, it's got to have something to do with, he had turf toe forever. He always had problems with his feet. I wonder, it's some kind of circulation problem, obviously. But he's got blood clots now, and because he had to have several toes amputated. They're talking about he may lose a foot at some point.
God, Deion Sanders losing a foot.
That's crazy, yeah.
I mean, it's like Elton John losing a hand. It's just not.
Yeah. It just, it was.
Doesn't seem right.
But he sounds, I guess the surgery was
I don't care if you
successful.
like him or not. I mean, that's awful.
That's terrible. And on an even more tragic note, former Auburn coach and Texas A&M defensive line coach Terry Price dies at 55 over the weekend. Or yesterday or Sunday. Did not give a cause of death, but I would think. Sudden like that, you have to think heart attack.
Well, and on top of that, just today we learned Ryan Mallett, the former Arkansas quarterback, he got caught in a riptide in Florida and he drowned.
Oh my God!
Ryan Mallett, who was 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
I mean, super athletic. What it makes you think about is if he can get caught in a riptide, anybody can. I mean, I'm assuming he was a pretty good swimmer because he's just an awesome athlete.
How come I never heard about riptides until lately? It seems like maybe I just never heard about people dying.
I think that it's all our 24-hour news cycle, and I also think people want to hear about people dying and losing toes or whatever.
Because Botany Barber died in the ocean.
That's right.
I wonder if that was some sort of a riptide effect.
And frankly, maybe the folks that are near the ocean don't want all that information out there.
Maybe.
But now we got a 24-hour news cycle, and it's just we have access to everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure this has been happening for a while. And but I'm going to the beach this upcoming week, and I'll tell you something. I mean, I'm a good swimmer. Always loved going out a little bit deeper in the ocean, and it makes me think, like, I don't need to do that anymore, I don't guess. I mean,
I would be less concerned with riptides and more concerned with sharks these days.
Well, I would be willing to bet there are more deaths from riptides than sharks.
Probably.
But and which one
less,
is more horrific? I mean, it depends on where they bite you, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, surviving a shark bite. I mean, a shark attack. You may end up with one less limb. So I'm just saying. You hear about a lot more shark attacks now.
Well, a shark attack is scarier on the surface, but I'm gonna tell you something. When you're in a riptide and you can't get up, I bet you that's pretty. There's just about. Well,
where was he, in the Gulf or in the Atlantic?
It just said in Florida. I didn't.
Oh, in Florida.
Investigate further, but I think somebody died in Panama City recently from drowning in riptides. It's just wild. I mean, it's and you think about somebody like Ryan Mallett again. You just feel like because Ryan Mallett played in the pros for a while, but he played just enough to where, and meaning he was on a roster long enough to where he had a professional build, a professional body.
What, in the Patriots?
But he wasn't getting hit all the time. Yeah, he was with the Patriots. Yeah. You know where he started his college career? You remember?
I do not.
Michigan. And I remembered that, right. And then I said, I wonder why he left. And you know why he left? Rich Rod came in. And Rich Rod wasn't exactly a Ryan Mallett-friendly coach.
No, because Ryan Mallett was not known for moving.
Being fleet of foot.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there you go.
But the Deion Sanders thing is just awful, too. And, I mean, boy, he just gets his – I hate to say he gets his shot. I mean, it's not like Deion hadn't had a shot, but he gets his shot at Power 5 football. And, I mean, I don't want him out there, rolling around, on a thing like Derek Dooley had, I want him being Deion. I mean, and there's other reasons that you don't want him to lose his foot. I'm just saying, like, it takes the –
It's like it's not going to be like Eddie Murphy and trading places.
I know. I'm just saying – No, I'm just saying that Deion is so iconic. When you see somebody like that, boy, this is, and I mean, and I'm trying to say this in the best way possible. Like, I remember when my grandmother had a stroke, and I mean, she's one of the most beautiful people I've ever known. I loved her. She was fantastic. She's one of the best people I've ever known. And I remember seeing her when she had her stroke, and like, it legitimately was like, one side of your face is completely, moved down a level.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, God, I almost wish I hadn't seen that because I don't want that to be my memory. Like I'm saying. And so, like, when I think Deion, I still always want to think the little shuffle he did into the end zone or the high stepping or whatever. And, boy, it's going to be so hard. I'm not trying to take away from what it is for him. I mean, I don't want to make this all about me. Yeah. I'm just saying that when you see him out there, you're going to be like, man, the new generation is going to see him and be like, pfft. And you're going to be like, this is one of the best athletes there ever was. Not players, one of the best players too, but one of the best athletes there ever was. And, it's you just hate to see it. I mean, we all have our downfall though, right? I mean, eventually we all start tumbling down. Yeah. It's undefeated.
We got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Looking to sell your car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than King Honda. As a local family-owned business, we're committed to providing you with the best service and value. Nobody pays you more for your vehicle than King Honda.
You've trusted us for generations. You can trust King Honda to give you top dollar for your vehicle, whether you buy from us or not. Trust in our time-tested tradition of excellence at King Honda.
Visit King Honda today and get top dollar for your vehicle. Located on the corner of Opelika Highway and 280.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say, not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later. How are you? Tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here. This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We were in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. About 20 more minutes left in the first hour of tonight's program. The NCAA cracking down on NIL.
Not going to take it anymore, Andy.
The NCAA's national office informed member schools today that some methods schools have started using to get more directly involved in helping their athletes make money from name, image, and likeness deals are violations of the association's rules. New NCAA guidelines directly conflict with some state laws that are already in effect or will go into effect by the end of the summer, setting up a potential clash that will once again test the association's legal ability to enforce its rules. Do they ever win in court? I can't recall a time. In a letter sent to the schools today, Stan Wilcox, it's a strong name, NCAA Executive Vice President of Regulatory Affairs, wrote that even if state laws allow for some specific types of NIL activities, schools could be punished by the NCAA for pursuing them. Interestingly enough, Texas, the state of Texas, has passed just such laws that will go into effect, I believe, Friday. And there is a addendum in those laws that say very specifically the NCAA nor any other body can sanction you for doing these exact things.
I'll refer you to page 6, Article 7, subset 3, where Texas state law says screw the NCAA, and subset 4 is, if you're unclear, see subset 3 again.
Yeah, see the
because they do not care, and please 7-pound 10-ounce baby Jesus, let the NCAA try and make this happen so that Texas can sue them, because they will lose, and they will lose horribly. My question is, what do we need the NCAA for?
How many people have said, we got to get some guardrails on this thing. We got to get some structure on this thing.
But I don't want them giving the guardrails. The NCAA basically said, all right, they had a bottle of ketchup. And they said, this is our bottle of ketchup, and we're going to do what we want. And the Supreme Court said, no, that's everybody's ketchup. And so they said, okay, they turned it over, squeezed every drop out of it. Now they want to put something back into it. It's not going to work that way. And I don't want them making the guardrails because they don't know what they're doing.
You'd rather the government?
No, I would rather, let's cut to the chase and let the Power Fives and Notre Dame and, I don't know, however many other schools have their own thing, like the NFL, which is where we're headed. Let's go ahead and beat everybody to the punch and just do it this way. Let's just have that group. And then if the NCAA wants to monitor the Middle Tennessee states, the University of Texas, San Antonio's, no offense to them, but they're not on the same level as the Power 5 schools. We all know this.
Of course.
And let's
know that.
Let's just let the big boys be the big boys and the other schools be more what we remember college as. I wish that it wasn't that way. I wish that I had faith in the NCAA to make this happen right. I have no faith in the government. You're absolutely right, okay? But I have just as much faith in the NCAA, which is they are the governing body of this. So
yeah, they're brothers.
Yeah, they're cousins at the very least. So let's just let's try to get something else together to make this right, and something that has some foresight, some smart people who have foresight. There's so much money at stake now. And everybody go, well, it'll ruin the NCAA tournament and the Cinderellas and the blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. We got to get a handle on this thing. I don't care. I mean, I love Mercer University, but I don't care if Mercer doesn't make the NCAA tournament one bit, and neither will you.
Just want Power 5 to make the NCAA tournament?
I just want there to be 60,
Power 5 NCAA tournament?
Somewhere between 50 and 70 teams. We got to cut the fat. And we got to let those teams.
They're not. That's never. That's
why is that not going to happen? I think that's definitely going to happen.
They are never.
It's already happened.
They're never going to shrink the NCAA tournament.
Oh, I think they'll just make it where like only that this group gets in it. Sure.
No.
Oh, I definitely think so.
No,
We're already doing it. The SEC already added Oklahoma and Texas.
It's apples and oranges, really. But you can't treat basketball the same way you treat football. It's a different thing. It's like the same way you gotta treat baseball different.
But okay, and I'm fine with that too. If we go that route, if we say we're going to treat football differently, maybe we can somehow, like in my opinion, see, like this probably wouldn't be super popular, but like Title IX's gotten so messed up. I understand why it was there.
Yeah, I say we just throw that out.
I'm not saying I'm not saying don't give female athletes a chance. I certainly want there to still be a softball program and a women's basketball and a rowing or whatever. I want women to have.
Not going to be one without the football program.
I understand, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's a sticky wicket. But the other problem is if we're going to start letting the Leah Thomases of the world compete as women, doesn't that defeat Title IX to begin with? So put that to the side. I'm saying.
Yeah, now you're getting in deep water.
I would love to say, like literally, I would love for football to move over and be its own entity. Okay, I think that'd be great, and let that. Now, first of all, Title IX doesn't apply to football, I don't think anyway, because it would really throw everything out of whack. But can we all agree there's something wrong with baseball only getting 11.7 scholarships or whatever the hell it is? That's so stupid.
That's stupid.
And it's only because of Title IX that is the way it is, apparently. So let's let football be its own thing. You want to keep the basketball tournament the same? Fine. I don't care. But what I'm saying is when football goes away for some of these other schools and Jacksonville State or UAB or Samford can't get the money from playing these big boys, they're not going to be able to have these other programs. And some of them will, some of them won't. And so it's going to be different anyway. It's going to be different anyway.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's going to have to be some kind of revenue sharing if you want to keep all the other sports.
It's like everything else. It's like everything else. I remember there was a time.
It's above my pay grade.
It is. But I don't want the NCAA in charge of these guardrails. I don't care. Something else. When you say, well, what do you want to do? I'm something else. What's choice C? Yeah. Don't want the government. Don't want the NCAA. What's choice C? That's what I want. Anything else?
Anything. Being a janitor to stadiums above my pay grade. All right, just to be so we're specific about this, in recent months, several states have passed laws that allow for fundraising groups that are legally separate yet closely partnered with universities to start paying athletes for NIL endorsements. Texas A&M, the 12th Man Foundation, the Longhorn Foundation, which support the athletic department at Texas and A&M, they raise money for these NIL deals. Similar laws been passed in Arkansas and Oklahoma as well. So the NCAA says schools are responsible for making sure these fundraising organizations do not pay athletes for NIL deals. The new law in Texas will also provide perks to fans who donate to these NIL funds. Now, what's wrong with saying, no, you can't do that?
I don't see what's wrong with saying, if I give you the collective $100,000, why can't I get a...
Well, I'm not, saying, these outside groups, they're collecting these NILs, and basically they're just buying athletes, which the NCAA says, no, that's wrong. That's a violation. You can't do that. Student athletes are allowed to profit off themselves, but you can't just buy athletes.
Give it a rest, NCAA. You know what else is wrong? When you have Miami of Florida play an NCAA tournament game in Boise on a Thursday morning. That's wrong too. But you make it happen.
We're varying degrees of wrong.
Well, but I'm saying I just don't need, their hypocrisy knows no bounds. And
so you're okay with that?
I'm okay if it, look,
free for all?
They let it be a free for all. Now, we've got to figure out a way to rein it in. I'm with you on this 100%. I've been saying that. Now, what
they're giving you some ideas, you're shooting them down.
No, but these ideas, first of all, the idea that they're coming in like a white knight is just disgustingly stupid, because they have no idea. The other day, they penalized LSU by forfeiting 37 games from 10 years ago, and now we're supposed to believe we're going to get a handle on NIL. When they were in front of the Supreme Court, they threw up there and said, well, y'all figure it out then. Okay, we figured it out. Oh, we don't want you to do that. We got to do something else. You've been our governing body for a long time, and you've done zero governing. And the governing you have done has been awful.
I was going to say, they've done some governing. It's just been like, I don't know, Guatemala or something. All right, we got to take a break, but we'll be back with one final segment in the first hour of tonight's show.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker CDJR is now Sons Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons CDJR of Montgomery. Family owned, family driven.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com. You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City, Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry? The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Coastal Construction Design is the area's storm specialist experts and offers free roof inspections absolutely free to assess your needs. Their roofing experts get your home or commercial needs handled from start to finish. They have worked with all major insurance sources for decades, and they are permitted and approved for Lake Martin. Coastal Construction Design also handles exterior restoration, including siding and gutters. They are also a GAF certified contractor. Visit coastalconstruction.pro or call 251-215-3429. Coastal Construction Design. All things roofing from start to end.
There's nothing like a brand new truck. From Sarah Automotive, New Honda Ridgelines from $349 a month, Ford Rangers from $357 a month, and Nissan Frontiers from $379 a month. One of the largest truck selections in Alabama. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. There's nothing like a brand new truck. From Sarah Honda, Sarah Ford, and Sarah Nissan, serving Alabama since 1981.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, brought to you tonight by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. A couple of more of these, Luke. You can respond to these. Now, look, again, the more I read this, I'm on board with it, okay?
Even more reason to hate it.
Boosters, which would be Luke, including collectives, are not allowed to meet with recruits to discuss potential NIL opportunities in order to encourage them to attend a particular school. This is trying to say, get out of recruiting. Now, make all the money you want to make as an athlete, but NIL is not going to be about recruiting.
How do you police it?
The same way you used to, I guess.
Which everybody hated because it was so.
Just don't take 5 years to do an investigation. Do it quick. Can't find anything.
The problem is they have
on.
no subpoena power.
Well, get some.
You,
there again, look, if you want to participate in the NCAA, then we'll fine you so much if you don't cooperate.
A better idea is, again, disband the NCAA, have your Power 5 schools, Notre Dame and whoever else, and then say, we're going to govern this. And
sounds good, but that's so much harder than it actually sounds.
But no, I mean, frankly, think about this. Like, I think we could go through a lot of our laws.
We can't even get 12 guys in a room or 14 guys in a room to vote on a schedule. You saying we could get 60 athletic directors and presidents in a room and agree on something?
I'm not saying it would be unanimous. I'm saying we could make it where it is profitable and as equitable as you can be. Again, see, everybody loves to use this term equitable. Like, we got to level the playing field. It's never going to be a level playing field because Texas and Florida and Georgia have an upper hand on Utah, Wyoming, and Minnesota. You know why? Because they got a bunch of dudes in those states. Alabama, the state, has an upper hand on, say, South Carolina. You know why? Because we have more passionate football fan base. I don't mean that as a shot at South Carolina. I love South Carolina.
And it gets about 5 degrees in Wyoming and Minnesota.
Well, but I'm just saying that South Carolina has some good schools. But do they have like a Thompson and a Central Phoenix City and a Carver Montgomery and, Clay Chalkville? Do they have a Hoover? I mean, do they have a Saraland, a Spanish Ford, a Mountain Brook? I mean, I'm just rattling off schools off the top of my head, and I'm not even really getting into the lower levels. What I'm saying is, see, some places are going to inherently have an advantage. Georgia is going to have an advantage. You know why? They're really close to Atlanta. They not only is their state talent rich, they're close enough to Atlanta to not be in Atlanta, but close enough to Atlanta to be able to use Atlanta. And there's some folks who are like, I don't really want the big city feel. Athens is for you. Well, I want to be near a big city. Athens is for you.
Not that far away from a beach.
So, and it's always going to have Columbus, Ohio, I've been there 1,000 times. It is going to have an advantage over East Lansing, Michigan. I've been there a few times. It's going to have an advantage over Lincoln, Nebraska. I've been there. I'm just telling you, Lincoln's fine. It ain't Columbus. And just some places are going. Nebraska doesn't have as many good football players in it as Ohio does. So all this, we got to make it equitable. You can't make it equitable. You can do the best you can do and say, Alabama's always going to have an advantage.
I accept that. All I'm saying is there's got to be some way to divorce NIL from recruiting. There's got to be a way. And if you do that, I think it solves so many different things.
I don't know how you do it now. It was hard enough to do it when you were like cracking heads and there wasn't texting and Twitter and Facebook and social media out the wazoo. There are a gazillion ways to get in touch with somebody through somebody else. It used to be, you almost have to do, you remember that exercise you used to do in class where you'd have somebody would start out with a sentence and you'd take it down the class, and by the time you got to the end of the line, it was like, you started out saying, hey, Merry Christmas all, and at the end it was, somebody said, I think they said Purple Monkey dishwasher.
Yeah.
Now, though, you can be very clear about what's out there. And if you're a recruit, here's the deal. Why don't you just say this? You know what? Wherever I go, I'm going to need $200,000. If you just put that on social media and nobody met with you,
that's okay.
You say that's okay. Why isn't that the exact same thing?
Again, because you know what it is going in now. I think the NCAA's got to look at that too, and you'd have to. I mean, clearly that it'd be easy for somebody to say, or it'd become the norm to say, look, you can't say that in public. And I don't think many high school kids would come out and say that. Now, unfortunately, as you say, their handlers, Peaches and the like, will come out and they will probably advertise what that is. But again, I don't have the answer, but there's got to be some way to do it, and I think that's the only way to truly put any kind of cap back on the toothpaste. How about NIL deals cannot include clauses that require an athlete to attend a particular school or live in a particular geographic area. And finally, event sponsors cannot pay an NIL collective, which in turn pays athletes as part of a contract for a team to participate in an event. So there you go. Look, we got to take a break.
Luck.
Well,
good
yeah,
luck.
I know. We'll that'll wrap up the first hour of tonight's program, but never fear, we'll be back with hour number 2 right after this.
Now at Glenn Smith and Opelika, GMC Sierra Crew Cabs discounted up to $10,500 off. GMC Terrains up to $4,750 off. And Buick Enclaves up to $5,000 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Buick GMC.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
The Alabama Slammer. It's a popular drink at parties, but drink too many and you'll wind up in this Alabama Slammer. And if you drink and drive, get ready for a real Alabama Slammer. If you're involved in a crash where a driver's been drinking, you're 4 times more likely to die.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Hi, this is Jimmy Gorey, Gorey's Furniture. Come join us for the Madness of March. Come join us here at Gorey's Furniture. Make a purchase, shoot from the line, 5, 10 to 15. That's % discount off your total ticket. So come join us. Let's have fun. Everyone's a winner. Everyone will save. Come join us for the Madness of March, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, hour number 2. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. I am Andy Graham alongside Luke Robinson. We'll be with you until 9 o'clock. Talked a lot about the NCAA, trying to crack down on NIL. They're proposing some new rules for it. They are in direct opposition of a lot of state laws that are already been put on the book. So going to be interesting to see how this turns out. I got a feeling I kind of know, but there is going to be a legal clash here at some point. Also, it is a bit of an anniversary. The Supreme Court put the kibosh on college football having the monopoly on telecast. If you know, for all of you youngsters out there that don't recall, back in the day, the NCAA actually limited every school to 6 appearances on live. You couldn't have any more. You could have a lot less, but you couldn't have any more than 6 appearances on live television in a 2-year span. So there might be 2 Auburn games on a year, which that's why people like Jim Fife and Larry Munson and all those guys were so beloved. Eli Goldie back in the day. So I mean, it just. You had to listen to the radio if you weren't at those games, and it was a different world. But then this Supreme Court ruling came down, and that kind of it really actually hurt TV ratings there for a little bit, and the price of advertising actually went down considerably, and then it shot up, and then it just exploded in the 90s, and it is what it is today. But there is a lot of money being made, and more power to them. That's capitalism, baby.
Yeah, and again, I say I yearn for the days of the radio where you listen to, and because it's my Jaws theory that Jaws was scarier the first of the movie when you didn't see the shark, because like you were like imagining whatever the scariest shark is in your own mind versus seeing the shark. And knowing what it looks like. Like the unknown is always scarier. Yeah. You know? But
which was a happy coincidence.
The same thing about you hear a football player, you're like, Johnny Musso breaks free. I mean, in your mind, you're picturing this beautiful run when, really it might have been about a 10-yard gain that was just mundane, but he's trying to paint a picture. And there's something about that just is very nostalgic for me. But again, I understand both sides. I understand, and
scarcity increases value. That's just a universal law.
See, I have no problem. I'd rather watch Minnesota play Illinois than watch the best 2 group of 5 teams play. That's me. I understand that's different. Yeah. My point is that I don't think everything needs to be on TV now. Now, it is going to be because obviously there's value. Just like people say there's too many bowl games. You know why there's too many bowl games? Because they make money for somebody. They're not putting them out there for charity. Somebody is paying a lot of money for these bowl games. Everybody's like, we got too many of them. Oh, it's a participation trophy. And then you also say they don't mean anything. If they don't mean anything, then you can have as many as you want.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the argument is, there were so few games, but there were games that, you either watch this game or you don't watch any game at all.
That's
now,
BS too.
There are 1,000 games on. Well, okay. You don't have to watch them all. if you watch the one you want.
I agree.
And that's fine. It's choice. And that's, there's that's kind of the American way.
We got a caller. Let's take it.
All right.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to make a comment about Hey, I was going to make a comment. I just turned it on. Y'all were talking about listening to games on the radio. Which show my age a little bit.
Go ahead.
I remember listening to Gary Sanders and Gusty Yearout. They used to call the Auburn games. I remember the 1969 Alabama-Auburn game at Legion Field. Auburn beat Alabama 49-26, and Gusty Yearout. Gary Sanders was a commentator. Just wanted to make that comment.
Well, that's cool, and that there's something that gives you the warm and fuzzies about that, right? I'm not saying that if you had seen it on TV, it would be any less inspirational.
Gary Sanders was good.
But I'm saying, that was the golden age of, radio personalities had more personality because they had to. You don't have to have as much personality now because people are probably watching it anyway. Now, I know a lot of people who turn down the TV and listen to Auburn's radio crew or Bama's radio crew, and they sync it up. I know a lot of people who do that, and that's cool. But, again, they're not having to paint the same picture because you're watching it live.
Right. Well, the radio, and I've tried to do that before as an Auburn fan, and the radio was a step ahead of TV.
Yeah.
The play is. You get the play on the radio, and then after the play is just about over, you see it on TV.
Yep.
But anyway, just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
No, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. Yeah, and that's what we're talking.
You're talking about Gary Sanders and Gusty Yearout. In 1972, it seemed like everybody my age and older had a floppy little, what do you call it, little 45 of that call, and they heard. I heard that growing up my whole life. I heard that call in 1972, and Gusty Yearout screaming like a little girl in the booth. But it was Gary Sanders did a great. He had that old fashioned kind of. You could. It was like you could just envision him with his hand up to his ear like an old radio guy, and talking about this is the biggest sector point you'd ever want to see. It was just it was great.
And there is something fun now about, and that's why I really enjoy our work with the AHSAA. When I'm doing the scoreboard show, which I'm going to let you handle a lot of that this year. But when I
not do that last.
But when I would come into the scoreboard show, right? I'm driving in, and so I'm usually getting in here at, somewhere around 9 o'clock at night on a Friday night. And so I'm trying to find a station, and you might find Clay Central's broadcast or Dadeville's broadcast or Reeltown's or whatever it is. I can't help but when you listen to some of these broadcasts, and it's sort of like the color commentator guy is like, he got 5 yards there, but I think he only got 4. It's the old school, they're just so bought in. And I feel like now a lot of the radio teams are trying so hard to be less homerific and more educated. And there's something about just calling it like you see it, saying, that was a hold. He shouldn't have scored there.
Listen to Opelika's with Spence McCracken. And, come on, dog.
I dig that. And I dig that, and there's something about that you had a special tie-in with those folks,
True.
And it seems like we hate every TV announcing crew.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody hated Uncle Vern. I loved Uncle Vern. I felt like Uncle Vern was your drunk uncle that comes over and he mispronounces everybody, and you're just like, hey, that's Uncle Vern.
Yeah. I don't mind. I know everybody hates Danielson. I never minded Danielson. He was fine.
And again, everybody thinks Danielson hates their team.
Yeah.
That's what's now. But I'll tell you this: if you want to get frustrated, if you want to just really get frustrated, go to YouTube and pull up the Iron Bowl '85 and watch it on ABC, and notice how You can't find the clock anywhere. You don't know what down it is. You don't know what time in the game it is. You don't know how much yardage they need because they put a screen of the actual clock from Legion Field in there. And when the stadium was shaking, it was doing like this. And you're like, is there 17 seconds or 37 seconds or an hour and a half left?
Now, 85, you probably were still getting Keith Jackson. So it was worth it.
Well, Keith Jackson did do that game, and
like
that was great.
87, 88, you got into Jim Lampley.
Yeah.
And, Tim Brandt, who just hated each other.
Yeah.
You could tell.
No, that came through the screen.
But, when it was Keith Jackson and Frank Broyles.
Oh, that was beautiful.
The safety man, this Bo Jackson is such a, that was great. Anyway, we got to take a break.
But wait a minute. I want to stay on this for one more second. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, if you go back, you pick a game, forget Alabama-Auburn. If you pick a game and you're watching one of these old games and you can't see the down, you can't see the distance.
The greatest thing that ever happened was putting that thing up in the corner.
And not only that, what then, like, they slowly got it. They slowly started getting it because as a gambler back in my college days, I remember having to stay up till 4 a.m. to watch the CNN crawler to see if Hawaii covered or not. And that is beautiful now. Like, they have instant, like, this just happened, blank. And granted, we all have the internet and computers, and that could help too. But I'm saying, like, back in the day when they would do scores, they'd do, like, 6 scores, and that was it. And they did those same 6 scores the entire game. And you're like, I just want to know who covered the Vanderbilt game.
Now you go on ESPN Plus, you can watch it.
You can watch the dang Vanderbilt game. You don't want to, but you'll do it if you bet on it.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Talladega Outdoors in Talladega is your authorized Kawasaki sale and service center. Your home for Bad Boy mowers and Kimco scooters, four-wheelers, and side-by-side. Rather for hunting, land management, or recreation, they have the ride for you. But they are also everything outdoor with full lines of accessories and is now your Ariat workwear and boot store, along with kayaks and outdoor accessories. Talladega Outdoor, Highway 21 in Talladega. Everything outdoor and Alabama's #1 Kawasaki dealer.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dadeville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Now at Glenn Smith and Opelika, GMC Sierra Crew Cabs discounted up to $10,500 off. GMC Terrains up to $4,750 off. And Buick Enclaves up to $5,000 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Buick GMC.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. About 40 more minutes left in tonight's program. Been a fun one. Thank you for the participation. 256-234-6221 is our number here. ESPN FPI, the Football Power Index, has been released. They feel really bullish about 3 SEC teams, although number 1, not an SEC team on the list of Football Power Index. Where do your Auburn Tigers rank? 39th.
My Auburn Tigers ranked 132nd, but
39th, only ahead of Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. So, but anyway.
Look, I get it. I also feel like I looked at the FPI thing and I saw that they only give Auburn a 43% chance of beating Cal. I'm going to just state for the record, if Auburn loses to Cal, it could be a long season.
It will be.
Cal is not very good. I don't care that Auburn has to go all the way out to California. It's not that big a deal. There'll be 78 people there, and 77 of them will be Auburn fans. They just don't.
If you make a big deal about the color of your uniforms or how far you have to travel or this or that or the other, then you're not very good. If you go out there and say, look, we're going to beat the mess out of Cal, and that's really that's all there is.
That's what should happen.
That's what you should do. So,
I mean, I think that
you're a good team if you do that. Well, you're a good team. You're not a great team. You haven't proved it yet.
And look, some other things. I mean, yeah, I think Auburn's going to have a tough time at LSU. I think they're going to have a tough time at home with Georgia and Alabama. That's going to be tough. They're probably going to have a tough time at A&M, but boy, that's
a tough time at Arkansas, I bet.
Probably, Arkansas's got a pretty good team coming back. I mean, they'll have a tough time at home against Ole Miss. But, again, I feel like something in me says you got to give Auburn, say they're at least going to win one of those 3, A&M, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and it wouldn't shock me if they won 2 of them. I mean, I think there's a puncher's chance to win all 3. So, yeah, I feel like LSU will probably beat them. I feel like Georgia will beat them. I feel like Alabama will beat them. But there's 3 losses now. Yeah, I'm going to say go out on a limb and say there's 2 more losses somewhere. And, is it going to be Mississippi State? It's not going to be Vanderbilt, I don't think. Good Lord, again. But could it be Mississippi State with an experienced quarterback with a complete unknown everything else? We don't even know.
Apparently they're going away from the run and shoot or the air raid. So, my God, they're not built to do that.
They're not built to do it. That's a problem, and they're playing at Auburn. I don't
know where the 2 teams will be when they meet, though.
Yeah,
that's like later on in the season.
The more I think about it, the more I think Auburn looks like an 8-4 team to me. 7-5. That's probably what everybody's going to go with. But I think this FPI thing has them at 6-6, which I don't agree with. It's simply because
how do you get them at 6-6 if you have them less than a 50% chance at Cal, and that would make 7 teams you're less than 50%.
Frankly, I would say,
how does that work out?
I wouldn't shock me if Auburn beats Cal more than they beat Vanderbilt.
At ESPN.
Huh?
They're not big on math at ESPN.
No, and I mean maybe they're also trying to posture this as something that everybody needs to watch.
They're predicting Auburn to upset somebody, I guess. I mean, clearly. Okay, so who's number 1?
Ohio State.
Of course. Ohio State's number 1.
Ohio State, they have
11-1, their predicted record.
Yeah, and they play Michigan, obviously at Michigan, and they play Notre Dame at Notre Dame, and they got Penn State at home. And other than that, it's
how about this?
Pretty easy.
82.2% chance to make the playoff.
I think that's very fair because, I mean, if you think they're going to have 1 loss, fine. I think they can have 1 loss and make it easily.
57.2% chance to make the national title game. 36.7% chance to win the national championship. That is by far the biggest percentage.
And, again, I think it's a lot about schedule.
Do you think Ohio State's the national champion?
No, but I think they've got a really good team. I mean,
Who plays quarterback for them?
Well, I don't know right now. I mean, C.J. Stroud's gone. I just don't know. Now they've got
some really good receivers.
They've got really good receivers. But, somebody's got to give them the ball. So, it wouldn't shock me. I think I remember seeing Alabama second on this. I would clearly put Georgia second. Georgia plays – in fact, I'd probably put Georgia first. Georgia plays absolutely the easiest schedule they can possibly play, remaining within the bounds of SEC play.
Well, here again, I mean, they put Alabama second, Georgia third, but they predict Georgia to have a better record. Not sure
well,
how that
I think part of what this is saying is, okay, we think Alabama's schedule's a lot more difficult, so they're going to probably get the benefit of the doubt. See, if Georgia loses a game, now if they still win the SEC, they'll be in. If Georgia were to, and even if they lose in the SEC title game, they'd be in. I don't see how in the world Georgia doesn't get in with unless they lose 2 games. If Georgia loses 2 games, they should not get in. I will definitively say that. I don't care if they win the league. They shouldn't get in with 2 losses with that crap schedule. Now, can Alabama get in with 2 losses? I think so. Their schedule is different. Can LSU get in with 2 losses? I think so. Their schedule's a little different. They also have they play Florida and FSU. So, I mean, I think there's a little different. But can Ohio State? Interesting because, the title game, did they do away with divisions this year?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
Why would they before?
Well, I think the ACC has done away with the divisions.
Okay.
Regardless.
It's possible, but it's still going to be a bit of a long shot for a 2-loss team, no matter who they are.
Well, I mean, if you lose.
There have to be some certain things work out in there.
Yeah, the problem is if you have a 2-loss team, you have to almost hope the team you lost to is in the playoffs, because if they're not, then your loss doesn't look so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough, but and I think, look, I would have Georgia 1 in this list. I would probably have Ohio State 2 and Bama 3. If I'm looking at it like the probability of going undefeated or losing the fewest games, but I don't think this is what this is saying. It's saying like an 11-1 Bama is more powerful than a 12-0 Georgia because the schedule is so much more difficult. That does make sense to me.
20.4% chance to win the national championship for Alabama, 19.1% chance for Georgia. So basically the same.
Oh, I think Georgia's percentage is much higher than that.
Okay. We got to take a break. We'll be back with more right after this.
OGS Tournaments. WrestleMarine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023. April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023. Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Looking to sell your car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than King Honda. As a local family-owned business, we're committed to providing you with the best service and value. Nobody pays you more for your vehicle than King Honda.
You've trusted us for generations. You can trust King Honda to give you top dollar for your vehicle, whether you buy from us or not. Trust in our time-tested tradition of excellence at King Honda.
Visit King Honda today and get top dollar for your vehicle. Located on the corner of Opelika Highway and 280.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. About 30 more minutes left in tonight's show. We're looking at the ESPN Football Power Index. How about LSU all the way up at number 4?
I can buy that. I mean, they
predicting them to go. They'd say 9.6 wins, 2.6 losses.
Yeah, they traveled to Orlando to play Florida State in sort of a revenge game from last year in the Superdome. That's on a Sunday, too. Thank God that's on a Sunday. Usually they put a lot of crap games, it feels like, on the Sunday, like during Labor Day. But I want, give me a good game on Sunday and a good game on Monday.
Not a good game on Monday this year.
No, I think it's Clemson-Duke.
Clemson and Duke.
I mean, I'm going to watch it again. I mean,
what else is there to do? Yeah, but anyway.
But
LSU got a 4.1% chance to win it all.
I don't think they'll win it all, but I think
23.7% chance to make the playoff.
They avoid Georgia unless they play in the SEC title game. They got Auburn at home. They do travel Tuscaloosa. Again, they got that Florida State game. Florida State's going to be pretty good, I believe.
Where do they play Texas A&M? Do you know?
They must play them in – didn't they lose to A&M last year, remember, in College Station? Wasn't that like a big deal towards the end of the season?
Sounds
and I
about
think
right.
they must play them in Baton Rouge this year.
Okay, Texas coming in at number 5. They're back.
They're back again.
10.1 wins, 2.6 losses.
And
that's 12.7 games.
They obviously have Oklahoma again. They obviously come to Alabama. And then they got whatever's in the Big 12. I mean, I don't think their schedule is all that daunting. But I think we're just going to learn a lot. Everybody loves Quinn Ewers. Everybody loves Xavier Worthy. I don't know who Bijan Robinson's backup's going to be or replacement's going to be, I should say. But their defense apparently is lacking. They did shut out Oklahoma last year.
Unsalty.
Yeah. So let's see how
better chance to win the national title than LSU.
No, I don't think
Says here 5.7% chance.
I can see it because they have just enough. See, Alabama's now the conference game this year, so they have just enough credibility with that Alabama game, win or lose, that they can make it through the rest of the schedule.
Little to no chance, but better chance than LSU.
I think they have a slightly better chance. Yeah.
All right, rounding out your top 10 here. Michigan, number 6.
Michigan's schedule is as big a joke as Georgia is.
Yeah.
And so, I think Michigan should be higher. Now, again, if it's power index,
10-2,
I get it.
10-2 the record.
No, I'm going to say.
So they're saying they're going to lose to Ohio State.
Essentially, but I mean, why do we think that now? Michigan's won 2 in a row, and it's in Michigan. I don't know why we think that. Ryan Day hasn't been able to get it done against him.
No, he hasn't. It's becoming a John Cooper.
Yeah.
USC, 7.
See, I think that's too high for USC. Doesn't Lincoln Riley always lose games he shouldn't?
one.
I mean,
during the year. Now, when he gets in the playoffs, he loses another one.
Well, last year he had a chance to get in the play. He was
Talking
essentially in the
regular
playoffs.
season. Yeah.
He was essentially in. He just had to beat Utah to advance, and he lost to Utah
Twice, didn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah. Let's see. Clemson, number 8.
Clemson's schedule.
They're back.
Isn't great. They're back again. But they've lost to South Carolina 2 in a row, haven't they?
2 in a row, really?
I think it's 2 in a row.
Wow.
Is it not?
Well, I mean, they've really looked very pedestrian the last couple of years. Now they'll have a new quarterback. Ukulele is gone to Purdue.
Klubnik is who the new quarterback will be, and he's good.
Yeah. Where did Ukulele go?
Oregon State.
Oregon State. That's what I said. Penn State, number 10, right after Notre Dame.
I can buy that. Penn State's got to play the backyard brawl. I think that's third game.
Somebody
of the year for them.
predicted Penn State to make the playoff.
I can see it.
Okay.
They've been on the precipice a couple of times.
Maybe it's just the beating that they administered in Jordan-Hare last year, and apparently they've got a young, up and coming bucket.
Allor, yeah, he's good.
Yeah. All right.
I'm trying to find. Boy, for whatever reason, it's really difficult to find the last few our Clemson South Carolina games, but I think it's 2 in a row for South Kakalaki.
All right, here
I'm about
we
to let
go.
you know. Sorry, it's 1 in a row.
Okay, for all that for nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, here's Oklahoma at 11 with a 1% chance to win it all. Why you telling me that bunch last year has gotten that much better?
No, but first of all, they do have a freshman quarterback coming in named Jackson Arnold, who's really good. Secondly, their schedule is very, very easy. They don't have a tough non-conference game.
They struggled with Kansas last year.
They got beat 49-0 by Texas. So what I'm saying is their
how
schedule
easy for them.
I know.
How easy is their schedule?
It's sort of like the Lincoln Riley thing, though. When you look at all the pieces, they got the Heisman winner coming back. They got this dude. They got that dude. The schedule's not, it's okay. But when you factor in something that doesn't factor in is Lincoln Riley always loses a game that will cost him something, and that doesn't factor that in. We know it.
Yeah. Tennessee 12.
I think that's high.
With a 0.7% chance to make the national title and a 0.2% chance to win it.
Look, if you play Alabama and Georgia in the same year, and then you've got I know they got Kentucky and Vandy and Missouri and whatever. I think their other game is Texas A&M this year. I think it's Texas A&M in the West.
At home, right?
Yeah, they got them at home because they go to Alabama. So, yeah, I mean it's and they also have to play Florida. Now they got Virginia in that game at the Mercedes Dome.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of orange in one stadium.
It's different orange, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of orange.
And I don't think it's going to be like the Sean Moore to Herman Moore from the late 80s.
Yeah, they didn't even finish the season last year because of the shooting and everything. So.
Let me say this too, and I want to get back to it, but tomorrow apparently the ACC SEC Challenge in basketball, the opponents are going to be revealed. And just you're saying Virginia made me think of that, and I'm wondering, like who's going to get matched up with who? I mean, obviously, I think it'll be Kentucky and either North Carolina or Duke. I mean, they'll just do that.
Yeah.
Right. I'm hoping
who gets the other one.
Well, right. First of all, but I'm also hoping that like Florida, Florida State, South Carolina, and Clemson, they play each other every year. I hope that game doesn't count as this, because that seems like a cheap way out. I would rather it be somebody new. But what I'm really hoping is, I was like, okay, who do you want to? Of course, if Alabama, I would love to be matched up with North Carolina or Duke. But we played North Carolina last year in that tournament in I guess it was in Portland. Let's play Duke this time. I would love to, or I would love to play Miami because they tied for the ACC title. Alabama won the SEC title. I think that'd be a great one. Okay. What about Auburn, Virginia? Rematch. First of all, Virginia's the one that tied Miami for the ACC title, so I don't think that would happen because Auburn sort of middle of the pack last year in the SEC. But I thought that let's make these matchups, this first round of them,
that would be palatable.
Like interesting. Like Auburn, Virginia, interesting. Like send Virginia to Auburn, and all of a sudden, I mean, that place will be packed no matter how good both teams are.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be interesting. It'll be a fun watch. I know it's so easy to say Kentucky played North Carolina and Duke, but I feel like didn't they play both of them last year? They may have played both of them last year. Let Kentucky play Miami. That's kind of cool. Jim Larrañaga against John Calipari. Larrañaga's team's been to the Final Four since Calipari's team has.
Yeah.
Like, as in this year. So let that be the thing. I mean, I just want to have some thought put into these. It seems so lazy to say, let's do Alabama. As I told Jimmy Stein on Locked On Bama, just don't do Alabama Clemson. That seems like that's what they're going to stick us with. We're going to get Clemson. We don't want Clemson in everything. I'll play Wake Forest. Give me somebody else.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
OGS Tournaments. WrestleMarine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, taking you up to 9 o'clock, maybe. All right, let's close things out with a little rank 'em here, do a little fun, and then we'll maybe have one more segment, or we'll see.
It's not.
Happy birthday today. Born on this day, 1927, Bob Keeshan. Are you familiar with Bob Keeshan?
I'm still not sure if that's one word or not. Bob Keeshan.
Yeah, that's
true. Do you know where he's from, Bob Keesha? Stuck down there in South America.
Also known as Captain Kangaroo.
The original bowl cut.
That's exactly. So
he made mustaches cool.
And sideburns. I mean, major sideburns.
I mean, the more I think back on him, we shouldn't have let any kids near him.
I think he was a pretty good guy.
He was, but
yeah.
Like if you wore that on TV or literally anywhere, people would call for help.
And hanging around pretty much a naked guy. That
that showed his
would have his
intestines,
intestines all showing. So
I hated that guy.
Yeah, he was weird. I mean, I started to do weird, crazy 70s shows that could scar your child. But, I went with just 70s kids shows. So, Captain Kangaroo, The Electric Company, Sesame Street, Fat Albert, The Muppet Show.
He was in the Fat Albert show?
No, he was not in Fat Albert. He was not in Sesame Street.
So this is just 70s shows?
This is just kids' 70s shows.
I was like, Bob Keeshing was in all the Keeshaning? What's his name?
Keeshan.
Keeshan.
Which one was your favorite?
God, his name is so Bob. Like, I bet it's not even Robert.
Yeah.
It's just Bob on his birth certificate.
He's one of those guys now, like John Denver, that because of the internet age, there's like all these things like, he was actually an assassin.
Yeah.
And he was this kid, he fought with Iwo Jima with Lee Marvin and all, which none of it is that. Now, he was he enlisted in the Army.
If we had sent Bob Keeshing to Guam, we would have lost.
Which one did you watch? Did you watch
I watched all of them. Let's go over them again.
Captain Kangaroo.
I loved Electric Company.
I did too. Morgan Freeman
and Electric Company. I loved Electric Company.
Captain Kangaroo, Electric Company, Sesame Street, Fat Albert, and The Muppet Show.
My parents always talk about how when I was little, that's how I would tell time. Like, I would know when Street was coming on. I'd go, Street, 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 and I'd run back in and watch it. And I remember having all the little things like Gordon, the bald-headed black dude that had the mustache. I remember having all those, like, figures. I don't even know. What were the other ones?
Fat Albert, The Muppet Show.
I didn't like Fat Albert. And the Muppet Show was funny because the two old men in the balcony were funny to me. And the Fegan,
the chef, and Beaker.
Beaker was pretty funny too. Beaker was funny. I hated, and to this day I hate Miss Piggy.
Yeah, I'm going with an upset. I love the Muppet Show. I mean, I would watch that like every Saturday night. That was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. That was funny. Like the guys in the balcony, the old men in the balcony.
Just making fun of everybody and laughing at them.
It was funny.
But now I like the Electric Company. I like Captain Kangaroo.
I did not really like Captain Kangaroo much.
But I liked Fat Albert.
Okay.
It was okay.
I didn't like Fat Albert that much.
Okay.
Like the guy with the ski hat with the two. Yeah.
How about Tobey Maguire?
All right.
Spider-Man or Spider-Man, Pleasantville.
That's where they go black and white or something. Yeah.
What's her name? The cute little blonde. She probably.
That narrows it down.
She's the best. Well, she's.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I was going to say she's probably the redeeming part of them. Cider House Rules.
Did never see it.
Never saw it. It was.
If you have cider in the name of your movie, I'm not going to see it.
Critically acclaimed.
I know. I like cider. I really enjoy cider come Christmas time.
Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit is awesome.
Very good. Wonder Boys.
Never saw it.
It's critically acclaimed. And I never saw it either.
Critically acclaimed is the same to me as the NCAA saying we're going to crack down. It just automatically, I think, the opposite.
All right, Spider-Man and all of its movies, Pleasantville and Seabiscuit.
Okay.
I'm narrowing it down to 3.
First of all, Seabiscuit to me is 1. Even though I love Spider-Man, I thought Willem Dafoe was awesome.
Oh, he's perfect.
Now, looking back, when I watched these old Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, I don't think he's a very good actor. I mean, like, he's just not that good. Like, I like Tom Holland more.
Yeah.
I liked Andrew Garfield more.
I think he's just a weird guy.
Yeah, and he's so stoic like this. And
I'll be honest with you, I couldn't stand Garfield. Thought he was by far the worst until this latest Spider-Man movie, and I'm like, I kind of like that guy.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. he might be the most like Peter Parker of all of them, at least an up-to-date Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was something else I was going to say about Tobey Maguire and this whole thing. Spider-Man 3 was so bad.
It was not good.
It makes me mad.
It was not good.
It makes me mad. Like when he does the dancing thing when he's see, like,
and Sandman was always my favorite villain.
He's a great villain. And they made him almost like, don't make me like the villain. That's what makes a good movie. Have a clear villain and an antagonist and a protagonist. And let them do like this. And then if you want to have a message or some crap, okay. But mostly in a superhero movie, I want to see them fight.
Yeah. All right, quickly, Chris O'Donnell.
Have you seen the new Flash?
I have not. Have you?
I have.
And?
I mean,
save it. All right. Chris O'Donnell, Scent of a Woman.
That's great.
Critically acclaimed. Three Musketeers.
I didn't believe Al Pacino was blind, though. I couldn't. Just doing this doesn't make me think you're blind.
Yeah. Well.
I feel like I could have very easily, if I were in the movie, I could have proven that he was not blind.
I thought you were blind earlier tonight. That was more convincing. Three Musketeers. Chris O'Donnell nominated for a Razzie for this one.
It was so stupid, it doesn't need to be.
Charlie Sheen's in it.
It's so incredibly stupid. I don't care who's in it.
At The Chamber.
I feel like the NCAA produced it. What?
Gene Hackman, Bo Jackson. The Chamber.
What did Bo Jackson do?
He was a prison guard.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, very good movie.
Chamber's okay.
Gene Hackman, white supremacist.
Yeah. I always knew it.
Yeah. And he apparently killed a guy.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Was he with Bob Cushing?
You've never seen this, have you?
I've seen The Chamber, but I didn't enjoy it.
Batman Forever. Not Batman and Robin.
I know.
Batman Forever.
I know exactly which one it is.
I know.
And I don't like it.
Nor should you.
Yeah.
Vertical Limit.
I remember it.
Like it better when it was called Cliffhanger.
Yeah. Or the sequel, Horizontally Unlimited.
Yeah. That's like The Cemetery.
Yeah, what?
Horizontal.
Oh, Horizontally Unlimited. Yeah. All right. You can't come up with a lot of good Chris O'Donnell movies, and that's why I don't see him acting a lot more anymore.
Well, he did that TV show.
What?
I don't know. It was with LL Cool J.
Oh, that had to be awesome.
I had millions of people watched it. Mm-hmm. It's one of those NCIS.
Oh, okay. He was
LA maybe?
NCIS Navy or something, or NCIS LA.
I think.
Okay.
I never watched it, but my mom loves it. So there you go.
Got
to take a break. We'll come back with one final segment of Sportz Blitz Live right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? Then make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out of the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Talladega Outdoors in Talladega is your authorized Kawasaki sale and service center. Your home for bad boy mowers and Kimco scooters, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. Rather for hunting, land management, or recreation, they have the ride for you. But they are also everything outdoor with full lines of accessories and is now your Ariat workwear and boot store, along with kayaks and outdoor accessories. Talladega Outdoor, Highway 21 in Talladega. Everything outdoor and Alabama's #1 Kawasaki dealer.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sports Blitz Live. Only got a couple of minutes. What'd you do this weekend? Yeah, probably went and saw a baseball game. Yeah, right.
I did. Went to see the Yankees play. In Yankee Stadium, had never been to Yankee Stadium before, been to Citi Field for the Mets. For a guy who hates baseball, I sure do end up with a lot of baseball fields.
Really?
But I didn't even stay for the whole game. I mean, it was really, for me, just the experience of being there. My son and my nephew were with me. And we had a good time. And, but it was one of those things where, I tell you what, I am enjoying baseball more with the pitch clock. Like, that does help.
It has sped up
the game kind of flew by. And it was one of those things where we had flown in that day, hurry up, got changed, took the train out to the Yankee Stadium. It takes you right there.
Not the D train.
No. And then we took an Uber back because that was enough. I just wanted them to have that experience.
It's a shame you didn't get to see Aaron Judge.
Yeah, Aaron Judge has a sprained toe. Of course, I didn't know that because I don't keep up with baseball that much. But the Rangers won in extras on Friday night. And
all right, now at the movies.
Yes.
The Flash.
Saw that not too terribly long ago. It's fine. It's like, yeah, would I say go see it? Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it.
If they're scrapping it and starting over, what does it matter?
It doesn't, and nobody, even the Avengers to me, with the Infinity Stone stuff, nobody's been able to get all this time travel stuff just right. In fact, Flash takes the pot shot, the movie at the Avengers Infinity War, where they Michael Keaton, who's Batman in this, when they go back in time, he says, I know you've probably seen in a movie somewhere where they talk about time being linear, and if you go back in time, it branches off into a new timeline. He said, but that's not really the way it is. It's more like a bowl of spaghetti, and he just throws all this spaghetti in a bowl or whatever, and it's like, everything's, some things be the same, some things won't. And I'm like, just quit going back in time. Just let's let everything be linear.
Well, the only thing that I would push against that is that the Avengers was awesome. And your movies suck.
Yeah. No, the Avengers was awesome, and I'm hindsighting it badly in terms of the time travel stuff. I'm just tired of time travel. It feels like whenever something needs to be fixed, it's a dream sequence or it's time travel.
Well, they did kill off half the world.
I understand, and then they brought them back. And, I've thought about that. Like, they were gone for, 5 years?
Something like that.
Hey, maybe everybody sort of moved on. What if you've gotten remarried, you've started a new life, and then your husband comes back, like Castaway? Tom Hanks comes back in his kitchen like, hey.
Yeah, that was pretty, yeah. Well, anyway, so, in summation.
The Flash.
If you want to wait for it on DVD. Nobody has a DVD.
By the way, it'll be on HBO Max before you know it.
That's
that new Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it, but I remember it, marketed so much. It's already on HBO. Like, I was like, this can't be the new one.
Or Amazon or something.
Yeah.
It's going to wrap it up for us. Thank you so much for out there for being with us. He's Luke. I'm Andy. We're going to bed. We'll talk to you later.
Coastal Construction Design is the area's storm specialist experts and offers free roof inspections absolutely free to assess your needs. Their roofing experts get your home or commercial needs handled from start to finish. They have worked with all major insurance sources for decades, and they are permitted and approved for Lake Martin. Coastal Construction Design also handles exterior restoration, including siding and gutters. They are also a GAF certified contractor. Visit coastalconstruction.pro or call 251-215-3429. Coastal Construction Design. All things roofing from start to end.
Are you looking for something really good for lunch? Are you tired of the same old fast food? Well, go to Buck's. Get a meat and 2 sides or a meat and 3 sides for the best deal in town. Buck's always serves up the best food, including fried chicken, wings, hamburger steaks, catfish, shrimp, and yes, of course, the famous Buck cheeseburger basket. And Buck's has dinner specials too. So if it's your turn to cook dinner, Buck's will be glad to do it for you. We appreciate your business and look forward to serving you.